Click the bell icon to get latest videos from Ekeeda.
Hello friends, I welcome you all to this video. We are with chapter 4 of our subject microwave engineering, and this chapter is titled transferred electron devices. So as from the previous chapter we have moved now to the semiconductor platform, and this is the second video. I hope the introduction to the Gunn effect diodes was very clear in the previous video. Let us see what exactly the Gunn effect is. So here we start with our topic, that is Gunn effect. So Gunn is with respect to the scientist named as J.B. Gunn. The J.B. Gunn has worked with the compound semiconductor materials that we have listed into the previous video. So these compound materials were gallium arsenide, then we had the indium phosphide, or it can also be used in place of these two, that is cadmium telluride. With respect to these semiconductor compound materials, they form only a bulk here. So as compared to the PN junction diode or the bipolar junction transistor, so these are the semiconductor devices. There are junctions between the two types of the semiconductor materials. Semiconductor materials can be classified as intrinsic and extrinsic. Extrinsic we find with the help of doping. So here there is no junction, it is simply a bulk. So to this particular bulk, the two electrodes at the two ends can be connected here, and it can be given to the different polarities, negative and positive. The negative type of terminal we generally call the cathode here, and the positive type is the anode here. So given a potential here, it is expected that the electron, the free charge carrier inside this bulk, is supposed to travel from the cathode end to the anode end. But for these type of compound materials, the J.B. Gunn in the year 1963 observed the oscillations or the fluctuations into the current produced for this particular device. In the previous video, we have shown you the typical Gunn effect diode. So here it was the diagram. In this diagram, the Gunn effect diode was having the dimensions, for it was N-type gallium arsenide material. This was 75 micrometer, this was 100 micrometer, and this was 120 micrometer. So this we can take to be the length, breadth and the height. So this is the specimen. The three dimensions we have already given. This was the metallic contact on both the sides, and this is the terminal. So here we can take it to be the negatively charged cathode terminal, whereas this can be the positively charged anode terminal. So supplying the DC potential here, there it will be a development of electric field across this particular bulk, and after a threshold value, the formation of the high field region because of the drift velocity reduction into the electron will take place, and it will result into the final current here. So let us discuss the Gunn effect again. Now for this discussion, we take the help of the current here and the drift velocity especially. So onto the horizontal axis, we take the potential here. The potential will result into the electric field. So we can be representing electric field by capital E, and it can be measured into kilovolts per centimeter. Basically, when we talk about electric field, it is measured into the SI system of units in terms of volts per meter. For magnetic field intensity, we use amperes per meter. Here we have kilovolts per centimeter, and on this particular axis, we take the drift velocity. Drift velocity we can denote V suffix D here, and here it is in terms of centimeters per second here. Now if you take the case of PN junction diode, so as two opposite type of semiconductors of extrinsic type have been clubbed together, there it will be the diffusion of the oppositely charged carriers. So there may be the electrons and holes. So in the p type we have majority of holes, minority of electrons. In the n type we have majority of electrons and minority of holes. So the holes and the electrons will diffuse from the two sides to the junction, and this particular we call diffusion of the charge carrier. Whereas if we apply a certain bias potential, so there it will be the forcible motion of the charge carrier. So hence we call that to be the drifting here. Hence for the n type gallium arsenide semiconductor material, we call this to be the velocity produced because of drifting of that particular charge carrier, and we measure in terms of centimeter per seconds here. Now if you see the horizontal axis, we have the marking 0, then 5, 10, 15, 20. So approximately at this particular position, let us say this is 3.3. So here this value will be 3.3 kilovolts per centimeter, or we can say it is 3300 volts per centimeter. So at this particular value we find a drop down into the drift velocity. Until this particular value, right from 0, if you are going to increase the electric field, it means, so in this diagram we have applied potential across the cathode and the anode terminal. Therefore the electric field is generated, and we go on increasing the magnitude across these particular terminals. Therefore there it will be the increase into the velocity of the electrons from cathode end to the anode end. But after it crosses this particular threshold value, there it is dropped down into the drift velocity. As the electrons will be moving slower, the constitution of the current, it will be reduced here. Now we shall be helping it with the help of voltage current graph here. So if we take such a graph where we have voltage onto the horizontal axis and current onto the vertical axis, and if we find such a graph, we say it is positive resistance graph. I name it here. Basically we know the Ohm's law. According to the Ohm's law, we have the relation V is equal to IR, or R can be given as a ratio of V to I. So R is the resistance, and this is the voltage, and this is the current. So when voltage is increasing, the current is also increasing. So both we consider to be the positive, and this nature of the graph we say it is positive resistance. So this particular graph is observed for such devices which consume certain energy. They are not dissipating the energy. On the other hand, if we have the case on vertical axis, we again take the current, and onto the horizontal axis we take the voltage here, and this will be the 0 here. So when the voltage is increasing, the initial current will be decreasing here. So such type of graph obtained for any of the device, we say the nature of the graph has negative resistance. Now here also we have R to be equal to V by I according to the Ohm's law. When voltage is increasing, the current is reducing. So the negative resistance that we observe for the devices which dissipate the energy. Now as we are working for the microwave engineering, the purpose is to see the microwave generation. So those devices which will exhibit the positive resistance graph are not helpful to generate the energy because they are consuming the energy. But those devices which exhibit such a negative resistance graph, so they will be dissipating the energy. So therefore the dissipation of the energy that was initially obtained as the DC potential across the cathode and the anode, so formation of the electric field across the two terminals here will be converted in terms of the microwave, and this particular principle can be used for the purpose of microwave generation in the semiconductor platform. And here we have the group of these particular devices called as transferred electron devices. The transferred electron devices, why the name is so, that we shall be discussing with the help of RWS theory into the next chapter. The JB gun, while working with these particular compound semiconductors, explaining the Gunn effect as with respect to the previous diagram where we have taken the reduction into the drift velocity once the electric field crosses the threshold value. So he has published a lot of papers here. From one of his paper we have one finding here. So here the first diagram here. The first diagram is a continuous voltage given to the compound semiconductor gallium arsenide N-type here. Now it has the maximum amplitude of 16 volts here. The gallium arsenide they have taken, I name it here GaAs, it was of N-type, and they had taken the dimensions. The dimensions, it was 2.5 into 10 raised to power minus 3 into centimeters. So with this much of length here, let us say the length can be denoted by capital L here. So for this much of length of specimen of N-type gallium arsenide, taking 16 volts provided to that particular device along with 10 nanoseconds of duration. So in this wave cycle, this is one cycle completed at this particular marking here. This is another, this is another. So this much is 10 nanosecond. So in that case, such oscillation was observed. So this is the diagram explaining the oscillation observed into the current. Now the oscillation can be better explained with the help of the frequency value, and the operating frequency value was observed to be f is equal to 4.5 gigahertz here. So this is the Gunn effect. Because of the applied threshold field, there it will be a reduction into the drift velocity and producing such oscillations. J.B. Gunn in one of his another experiment tried to see what exactly is the threshold value of electric field after which the oscillations can be seen. So in that case, he has again taken the N-type gallium arsenide material, and for this particular material, this time the dimension was taken, the length was expressed, it was taken 210 micrometer. The cross section had been taken 3.5 into 10 raised to power minus 3 centimeter square. The cross section can be expressed by capital A here. Along with this, there it was the device of low field resistance, and the resistance value can be 16 ohms here, and the applied DC voltage that was above 59 volts here. So that time he found that the electric field threshold is inversely proportional to the specimen length. If this particular length of the specimen is varied, he also observed certain changes into the electric field threshold from which exactly the oscillation started. Finally, the electric field threshold value was given by the formulation ETH expressed as V divided by L, and in this case, as the voltage was 59 volts, so it is to be substituted into the numerator. The length, it was 210 microcentimeter, so it was micro for 10 raised to power minus 6, and centimeter to be converted into the meters, 10 raised to power minus 2 is to be plus 2 is to be multiplied here. So finally it is obtained to have the value 2810 volts per centimeter. So this is the value. So most of the times the threshold value can be 3.3 kilovolts per centimeter in many of the books, and when the length as specified here, the low resistance value is specified also here. From the Gunn effect, we came to know this particular value 2810 here. So basically, for the compound semiconductors, gallium arsenide, indium phosphide and cadmium telluride, the oscillations can be obtained in between the range of 2000 to 4000 volts per centimeter. So this is the Gunn effect, producing oscillation because of the reduction into the drift velocity of the electrons into the bulk device here. In the next lecture, we shall be going through the two-valley model to understand this particular effect and final operation of the very popular Gunn diode as oscillator. I hope you like these videos, and for more information like this, you can subscribe to Ekeeda channel. Thank you.